which I'll explain a bit about in a moment. Okay, so welcome everybody to tonight's webinar. As you can see tonight, we're talking about goals and attitude. And this is one of a series of 8 webinars that I run every Wednesday night, or most Wednesday nights. There's a total of 8. It normally takes me maybe 8 or 9 weeks to get through them all. Sometimes I miss one if there's an event I'm going to or something. But as you can see, tonight's number 7, goals and attitude. The first 3 are really about the retail side of the business. So getting started, your first few weeks, just starting to build your customer base, either with catalogues or Facebook or a bit of both. Numbers 4 and 5 there are more to do with sharing the opportunity. So a bit about team building, how to get started, and then also the importance of supporting your new team members. You don't just send them a starter kit and leave them to get on with it. Hopefully you're all getting lots of fantastic support from your sponsor, and that's really how the business works. It's not just a kind of do-it-yourself business, it's a do-it-together business. And then 6, 7 and 8, the ones that we're in the middle of at the moment, are the other skills really that are probably more important. You know, it's all very well learning how to put a catalogue to a letterbox or how to post something on Facebook, but if it was as simple as that, we'd all be millionaires. So what else do you need to do? What other skills and beliefs do you need to have to become very wealthy and to achieve whatever you want to achieve with our business? So what we're going to be covering tonight is, firstly, whether or not your attitude is important. Does it make any difference? I don't know. Well, I do know, but I'll explain a little bit more. How to work on your attitude, because it's easy to sort of think, well, you know, you're born with, you know, some people are born with a positive attitude, some people are born with a negative attitude, and that's it. You can be stuck with it. So, but I don't believe that's the case. I'm also going to explain to you why goals are so important, and how to just to get started on setting and achieving some goals. So hopefully you will believe me when I say that your attitude to your success in this business is important. It plays a massive role, because if you think about it, every distributor has exactly the same opportunity when you start off. Sorry, I'm just slurping with my hot drink, so if I do pause, don't worry. So yeah, we all start off with the same catalogues, the same products that we can post in Facebook. We all have the same overheads, delivery charges and small orders, all those sorts of overheads. We all get paid the same percentage on the products. So if everything's exactly the same, why is it that some people are more successful than others? And a huge part of that success is their attitude. So just a bit of an example, how do you feel when you get up in the morning? Sometimes you might get up and sort of feel, I'm going to get those catalogues out whatever it takes. You know, I'm going to spend whatever I get up an hour early to make sure I do what I need to do. Or you might wake up thinking, oh, God, you know what, I feel a bit under the weather today. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow instead. And I heard this great phrase at a training session that I was at once, which I think really kind of wraps it up for me. Successful people do what they know they should do, even when they don't feel like doing it. And that's really true. And if you can get your head around that, that makes a big difference. Because, to be honest, once you've been in the business for a week or two, you kind of know what you need to do. You know how to put your catalogues out, how to post on Facebook. You know what to do. But it's whether you've got the determination and the right attitude to do it, maybe when you don't feel like doing it. Because if you think about it, your attitude does make a really big difference. Maybe if you're putting catalogues out, it helps you to put them out even if you're feeling a bit down. You're kind of not feeling great this morning, and it's a bit grey and damp out there. Maybe it's raining and you'd have to wrap up well. But if you've got a good attitude, you'll do it anyway. And while you're going round delivering to your orders to your customers, or just delivering the catalogues, having a great attitude encourages you to chat and smile with them, even if you're feeling a bit kind of down inside, but you know the importance of having a positive, cheery face when you go around to see your customers. And being reliable and being cheerful helps you to build a really good rapport with your customers, because nobody wants you coming round if you're sort of, oh, grumpy, what a horrible day it is today, I've got a hangover, I'm not feeling great. But if you're going around saying, hi, this weather's fantastic at the moment, isn't it? I do like it when it's windy like this, it blows the cobwebs away. Or whatever you might say, if you're positive, your customers will enjoy seeing you. And that builds a strong and loyal customer base. And that good customer base provides you with a good steady income from your personal retail. So if you're just joining for an extra £50 or £100 a week just to deliver catalogues or do Facebook for your own customers, then that's exactly what you need to be doing. Just have that great attitude and you'll be well on the way to doing that. But there are other parts of the business. So if you're putting out some leaflets to recruit people in a particular area, if you've got a great attitude, it will help you to get up and get those leaflets out even if you're not feeling great. If you've got some follow-up calls that you need to make and you're thinking, oh God, you know what, I haven't done this for a little while, or I've never done it before, and my sponsor showed me how to do it, but I'm feeling a bit nervous now. If you're just thinking, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do it anyway, what's the worst that can happen? I'll learn something. Maybe 5 people who I speak to don't join my business. But that doesn't matter because they weren't in my business before. But by making those calls, feeling positive, even if you have to kind of put on a brave face to start off, once you've done it, you'll be so pleased that you kind of went ahead and did it. Because if you stop doing it, if you put it off, then it just becomes harder and harder to get round to doing it later on. And all of those activities, all of those lead generating activities or Facebook generating activities and those calls that you make, all of those activities will bring in maybe that extra team member this month. And that extra team member, the bigger your team, remember, the more people you have placing orders, the bigger your residual income will become. So just kind of thinking about that, if you've got a great attitude, that can make a big difference to your weekly orders. If you're putting your catalogues out even when you don't feel like it, posting on Facebook even when you don't feel like it, that could make the difference between a £250 order or £500 orders in a week. Dave was just saying there earlier on, he put 90 catalogues out, got £550 worth of orders. If he didn't have a great attitude and thought, oh, I'll just do the ones that are a bit closer to me, he might have only got £200 worth of orders. So that can make a difference to your orders by thinking the same way and sharing that philosophy with your team. Maybe that will increase your team's orders in the same magnitude. So instead of just having £2,000 worth of orders coming through your team, maybe you'd have £4,000 worth of orders. And that difference in your income can be huge. If your own personal retail is bigger and each of your team members have bigger income, bigger orders, they're earning more and you're earning more. So your attitude can just make a massive difference to everything that you get out of this business. So, hopefully you agree that having a positive attitude helps. And if you do, where do you find it? Now, I don't know about you, I've had a good look around Sainsbury's. I went up and down one of the massive Tesco extra stores on here, and I couldn't see anywhere on the shelves where you can buy £1.50 of positive attitude. It's a bit of a shame, but don't fret. There are a couple of ways that I'm going to show you about to how to improve your attitude. If you do struggle with things, you can struggle with determination or just feeling a bit under the weather and kind of just struggling to get out and do things when you're feeling down. So there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. First is your life philosophies. Now, I don't know about you, before I started this business, my main philosophy of life was to get to 5 o'clock on a Friday without killing my boss. And I kind of managed that most Fridays. That was a pretty good philosophy. I managed to succeed at that. But when you start doing a bit of personal development, you start thinking about things in a different way. And there's just a couple of little philosophies I wanted to explain about. I do talk about this a lot more in webinar 8, but just to give you a little bit of a feel for it. If you blame things when things go wrong, like you blame the weather, or well, I couldn't get my catalogues out because it was pouring with rain, then the trouble with that is you kind of lose control over your own success because you can't control the weather. Now, if you're going to say, well, every time it rains I can't go out, now, to be honest, this is the UK, wherever you are, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, we do get rain in this country. So if you decide not to go out because it's raining, you're putting the success of your business in the hands of the clouds and the rain. Whereas what you could do is say, okay, it's raining today, so I better put my raincoat on. I better wrap my notebook up in a bit of, in a plastic bag or something so it doesn't get soaking wet. Or you could say, well, I tell you what, I'm going to have a cracking day on Facebook today. I'm going to really go through those videos, set up my group, start posting everything in those local groups. So rather than blaming something like the weather, you can choose to take control of the situation. And that's true of all sorts of different things going on in your life. And the other great philosophy that I'm a big believer in is your success or your failure. Thank you, Kleeneze. I saw that. That's a good point. Your success or your failure is not down to one massive decision. It's not like a huge decision that you made one day that's led to your success. It's the small decisions that you make every day. Like, for example, deciding to go out and put those 50 catalogues out, whatever the weather. And if you do that every day, it's 250 catalogues a week, every week, for a whole year. That's an enormous amount of orders you'll get. Whereas if you make just one bad decision each day, like, well, maybe I'll put the catalogues out tomorrow instead, or maybe I'll get onto Facebook tomorrow instead, then that's the start of a bit of a slippery slope. You can kind of keep putting things off, keep putting it off. Before you know it, it's 3 weeks down the line, you haven't put any orders in, and you're starting to think, oh, this never works, I know I shouldn't have joined to start off with. And it's nothing to do with the business, it's to do with your decisions as to whether you're going to take actions or not. So just making one good decision every day rather than one bad decision can make a huge difference. And your philosophies, when you start thinking of things in that way, will improve, and you start to feel a lot more positive about lots of different things in your life, not just your business, but your health, your relationships, all sorts of things. Now, the second thing I want to talk about, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, is a great way to improve your attitude is to get some success. And what I'm going to talk about specifically, there's lots of different interpretations of what success might be. It could be all sorts of different things for you. But I'm going to describe success as being achieving a goal or achieving your goals. So if you can start to get into a habit, and this is something that's really, really important in our business. So if you haven't had a conversation yet with your sponsor about this, then please do. You should be constantly setting and achieving goals, because if you do that, that's a guaranteed route to success. If your goal is to get £25 at the end of your first week, so you've paid off the cost of joining the business, then within your first week or two you should pretty much do that, and you can tick your first goal off your list. And if you can do that regularly and frequently, then you just feel like you're always achieving things and always being successful, and it's just a great feeling to get into. So I'm just going to go through a little step-by-step approach to setting and achieving goals. And this is what I'm going to go through. So I'm going to suggest that the first thing you need to think about is what goals are important to you. It's no good saying to your sponsor, well, what should I set as a goal? Because your sponsor's goal might be to qualify for the India conference. And actually what you want to do is save up to take your kids to a weekend in Butlins. So it's sorry. So it's important to have goals that are important to you. And then I'm going to explain a little bit about how to set your first goals and then how to achieve them. And I'm going to explain you do need to be prepared for a bit of a roller coaster. I'm just going to pause a moment, guys. I just noticed Neil put up a comment there about having having difficult sound. Can I just check? Can everyone else hear okay, or is there lots of people having difficulties with the sound? Emma seems to be okay. Thanks, Dave. Jan, yeah. Okay. Okay, guys, I suspect it's probably just the internet, where you are. If you've got a poor internet connection, or it might be a bit at my end as well, a little bit of both. So, hopefully the recording will be a bit better for those of you that can't hear it, but I'll struggle on. Okay, so when you're deciding what is your goal, what are important to you, you need to understand what is your why. Why are you doing this? And the reason that you need to have a strong reason why is because typically this is what will happen with your business. What happens is, sorry, yeah. So what happens is first you set a goal. So whatever that might be, I want to achieve such and such. I want to save up £200 so I can take the kids away for a weekend. And you create a plan. So this is what I need to do to earn £200. So you say, I'm going to deliver these catalogues, do all that. And then you start to take those first steps. So you get your catalogues ready, or you create your Facebook group. You start posting in some local groups. And then something happens, some obstacle will appear. You'll get a grumpy so-and-so will kind of throw your catalogue away. Or you'll get some comment on your Facebook post saying, oh, I can get that cheaper down the Poundland, or whatever it might be. You'll start to come across a bit of an obstacle. And you will hit an obstacle because if you're not coming across any obstacles, it's because your goals aren't ambitious enough. Now, what you will find is that if you've got a strong reason why, that will motivate you to overcome the obstacle. Sorry guys, just going to get a quick drink. So what I find is you need to sit down for a moment, just take half an hour out of your day to think about what are your reasons, why are you doing this. And what I find is it's really important to have reasons that are emotional, that are important to you. So that could be, for example, instead of saying, I want to earn £50 a week, what you should be saying is, I never get to take my kids to the cinema and the pizza. I'd love to be able to every month have a fantastic weekend where we go and see a movie, we go for a pizza, have all the ice cream that we want, and then we go swimming afterwards. And it's so much better if you can visualize you and the kids, the family, the kids all going for a pizza and see a film and going swimming. That's such a great visual image. That's why I mentioned there about family, rather than just saying, oh, I'd like £50 a week. Because if you don't have an idea of what the money is for, then it's not a particularly strong goal. I just want to give you a little example. If I put a plank of wood on the ground, it's a typical, builder's scaffolding plank, and just said, right, I've got 20 quid here. If you can walk along that plank without falling off, I'll give you the £20. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you would say, easy peasy, that's the easiest 20 quid I've ever earned. If I then took exactly the same plank, went to the top of a tall skyscraper and put it across from the top of that skyscraper across to the nearby skyscraper across the top, so you can see that like a bridge between the two huge buildings, and said, right, here's 20 quid, go and walk across the same plank. I kind of imagine that you'd probably tell me where to go. No way, mate, there's absolutely no way I'd cross that bridge 500 feet up in the air just for 20 quid. But if I then said, okay, on the other building, it's just caught fire, and your 5-year-old daughter, son, whatever, is in that building on the top floor, kind of looking at you across the little bridge. The building's in flames. The only way they can escape is across that bridge, and they're terrified. There's no way they're going to walk across that plank. I bet you would find a way to get across that plank. You wouldn't want the 20 quid. That wouldn't worry you at all. You might kind of tie yourself to a bit of rope and get some friends to hang on to it at one end, go across on your hands and knees. You'd get across that rope, across that plank without worrying about it at all. And the point is, the action that you needed to take didn't change, but it was the reason, the strong reason why, that made you overcome the obstacle that I put in the way. So just think about when you're setting your reasons why you want to achieve something, make sure it's a very strong emotional reason. And as I said there, having a strong reason why will help you keep your eyes on the goal so that you don't get distracted by the obstacles. So, in the step-by-step approach I mentioned earlier, that was step one. That is, deciding what goals are important to you, whether it's the holiday in Butlins or just the weekend at Pizza Hut, or being able to buy your own house, or having a car so you can get out with the family, whatever the goals are important to you. The next thing is how to set those goals. So you've worked out the kind of things that that you're interested in. So what I would say to you is start by asking yourself a question. What would I change in my life? And as I said, that could be, I'm sick of having to walk everywhere and get the buses. I would love to be able to afford to learn how to drive and have a car. Or I'm sick of us, having to, the biggest treat out we ever have at the weekend is going to the chip shop. I want to be able to take my kids to the cinema and have an ice cream and pizza or whatever. So think about what would you change in your life. And then what I think you should do is start writing down some goals. So, and we do this in 3 different areas. So the first goals that you write down should be short-term goals. And these are things that you can achieve within kind of 1 to 3 months. So an example might be you'd like to buy a new laptop. I don't know what that would cost these days, maybe £200, £250 for a reasonable laptop. We're not talking about top of the range iMac super duper thing. Or maybe you'd love to treat the kids to a day out to Alton Towers or Thorpe Park or something like that. So I don't know how much that would cost these days, 100 quid, 200 quid maybe. So that would be a great thing to set, whatever is important to you. That's certainly something that you could achieve within the first kind of month or 2 of your business. And then on top of that, you should also set some more challenging goals, but give yourself a bit more time to achieve those. So for example, a goal that might take 6 to 12 months to achieve might be you'd like to pay off your credit card debt. At the moment, if you're finding that a lot of your money is going paying off your credit card, then an extra £50 a week, £200 a month, if you were to do that over 6 months or so, that could pay off quite a chunk of your debt. So if that's a problem for you, then that's a great goal to have. Or it may be, maybe you've never been overseas with the family for a holiday. Maybe all of your holidays are in the caravan at the end of the street, or camping with 16 other families. You all go together, which might be fantastic holidays actually. But maybe you've always fancied going to Spain for a sunny holiday, and so that might cost you a couple of £1,000. In 6 to 12 months, it's certainly possible to save up that kind of money just doing the business exactly as you get shown when you start off. So that would be a great goal, great goals to have in the medium term. But you should also have some really exciting longer term goals. And longer term goals are things that might take a year, maybe 5 years to get to. So they could be, for example, maybe you'd love to be able to buy your own house. And so you need a deposit to be able to save up to have that these days. You need a good deposit to be able to buy a house. Or maybe, you've got your Ford Fiesta that you're driving around in that you'd love, but wouldn't it be fantastic to be able to buy a brand new Mercedes? And whatever the goal is for you, then it's really important to write those down. So you should spend time sitting down again with your sponsor. It's a great thing to do this. Sit down and write down your short-term goals, your medium-term goals, and your long-term goals. Now, once you've written those down, that's all very well, having a nice piece of paper with all these lovely ideas on. What do you need to do to achieve them though? So, regardless of whether your goal is that laptop or the holiday or the car, what you need to do is to work out what steps you need to change in your life to achieve that goal. So that goal, whatever it is going to be a big change. Now, you can you can implement that change in your life, whether it's the weekly trip to the cinema or the holiday in Spain, by achieving some results. Now, those results in our business are going to be orders that you get from your customers. You need to get some orders to generate your income. That will help you maybe get bonuses as well as your profit from your orders. Maybe also you're looking to build a team, and so you'd like to get some team members. Whatever the results are that you need to help you earn the income to be able to achieve that goal, then you will need to take some actions. And the results that you need, whether it's orders or team members, the only way those are going to happen is by taking some action. So this is what I want you to start to think about, because it's the actions that you take which produce the results. that will help you to achieve your goals. So you can write a little list like this, very simple. If your target, your goal, the results that you're looking for is the new laptop, then maybe what you need to do is, on the catalogue side, maybe you have to be putting out 200 catalogues twice a week. Or if you're looking to build a team, maybe you need to deliver 500 leaflets twice a week. Obviously on Facebook it's a bit different. Maybe on Facebook you need to be posting in 50 groups, three products every single day. Or maybe you need to be running a competition every week to build your group up to 5,000 people so that you can then run recruitment adverts every week. Whatever the actions are, focus on the actions, because it's those actions that you take every day. Remember what I said earlier about little decisions that you make every day. Taking those actions every day will deliver you the results. Exactly the same with bigger goals. So if your goal is to have a family holiday, maybe what you need to do is deliver catalogues regularly in your area until you've got a customer base of maybe 500 customers. Or maybe if you're looking to build a nice residual income, to build that so you get big bonuses every month, maybe you need to be thinking about, can I talk to 10 people every day about the business? Because I guarantee you, if you do, your business will grow. And exactly the same, in the longer term, you're looking for a new Mercedes. Maybe what you need to be doing then is growing your team and supporting your team in a different way. Maybe you need to run a little weekly webinar like this to go through some coaching with your team. Maybe you need to be generating 30 leads a week on Facebook. Maybe you need to invest some of your earnings from your retail into buying some leads so that you're not having to generate them all yourself. But whatever your goals are, make sure you understand, sit down with your sponsor to work out what actions do I need to take every day to achieve the results that will allow me to win those goals. And as I say, if you start off with small actions, don't start off with the big car or the deposit on the house as your only goal, because that's going to take you 5 years to achieve that. That's a long way while you're kind of still plodding towards your first goal. What you need to do is start off with small goals, like the laptop, like the £25 just to cover the cost of you joining the business, so that you can achieve little results every week, every month, every year, and those small actions lead to big results. Now what happens is that every week, if you're getting a small success, so you're just ticking off, yes, I managed to post in 50 groups every single day, 3 different products, and I've done that for a whole week now. Or I've spoken to 10 people a day for a whole week. Or whatever it is, whatever your target, if you can tick yourself a little, yes, I've achieved that, you become more motivated. You've got a little success and you think, right, I've done that 1 week, I can do that again. And every couple of months, you're going to be achieving a goal. Maybe you pay for that laptop. Maybe you're halfway to paying off that debt, that credit card debt. So each month, you start to get bigger successes, and that motivates you even more. And then maybe once a year, you qualify for a fantastic conference, or, India or Mexico or wherever it might be. And that could be a longer term goal, and then you get seriously motivated by it. And all of these little successes, medium-sized successes and big successes, mean that you're constantly improving your attitude. Going back to what I said earlier, having a great attitude means that you will do those things on a daily basis, whether you feel like it or not. And you do need to be prepared for a bit of a roller coaster. There's a fantastic picture, I don't think I've got it up here. No, I don't think I have. Of the route to success is never a straight line. It's always, up and down, left and right. You're going over obstacles and round things. So you do need to be prepared a little bit for that. There was a quote I saw which I really, really liked, which was, any path without obstacles is probably not leading anywhere worthwhile. Now what will happen over your first few days and weeks and months of working towards these goals is you start off, when you start writing down goals, you start to get excited. You think, oh, wow, this is so much fantastic. I know exactly what I'm going for. I'm so looking forward to that first time we go to the cinema, or that trip to Disneyland, or whatever it is. You get excited and you think, right, I'm going to do whatever it takes now. Every day I'm going to do all these things. And then you'll come across a little obstacle. You know, as I said, maybe there's some catalogues you don't get back, or some team member who joins and then quits in their first week. And you start to doubt that you can do it. You get a bit frustrated. Maybe you start listening to some negative people a bit more than you should do. There's always negative people out there. It's up to you whether you listen to them or not. And then you can start to get into the pits. And this is just a normal phase, and it happens to everyone, so don't worry. And sometimes it can be 2 days, sometimes it can be 2 months into your business, sometimes it can be 2 years into your business. And what I find happens is that you start to stay away from meetings, you stop speaking, you stop speaking to your sponsor, you start to find excuses as to why things are not working, you find faults with the products, or with Facebook, or the catalogues, or your car, or anywhere you can see a fault, you will find it. But what you'll find is, if you've got a really good attitude by having those little successes regularly, that starts to lead you to what we call the fight stage. And what I mean by that is you start to realise that actually you've got a really good business on your hands here, so you'll never give up. You know that success is just around the corner, and you start to focus again on your goals rather than on the obstacles. So you then go back to attending the events, like these webinars. You're all on these webinars now, so it's obviously not, you're not having a problem at the moment attending events. You start communicating again with your sponsor, and you get back on track. And that's the benefit of having that great attitude. Okay guys, kind of coming towards the end now. It's about 8:30, so I like to try and wrap these up in half an hour or so. Got a quick question for you, especially for those of you who have just started. Could you share with us, just type something in at the bottom there, what are your short-term goals? What were you hoping to get during your first 2 or 3 months in the business? And those of you who have been in the business a little bit longer, maybe you would share with us what your goals were when you first started. Richard, new washing machine, fantastic. I like that. Yeah, Kleeneze, I know we've spoken about this, just covering your initial startup cost. Paul, yeah, pay for the startup costs, that's great. Because once you've paid for your startup costs, you know you've got a profitable business, and you know it works because you're already doing it. Brilliant, Vicky and Paul. Yeah, trip to Disney would be fantastic. Yeah, Dave and Lynn, I remember speaking to you lots of times about wanting to be able to give up work. Jane, spending money for a holiday, I've heard that several times as well. Dave wanting an iPad for Lynn. Okay, I didn't know that was one of your goals, Dave. Fantastic, guys. I'm really pleased to see some good goals there. So keep focusing on your goal. Now, has anybody got any medium-term or longer-term goals that they'd like to share with us? What about things that you'd like to do in the next kind of 12 months or a year or 5 years? Yep, new laptop. Goodness, anybody else got anything? A motorhome. Oh, Jan, that sounds fantastic. Go touring the countryside. Get a little motorhome, there's a bit of Wi-Fi in there. You can run your business from anywhere in the country. Oh yeah, nice holiday, Kleeneze. That'd be nice. Bungalow, Hamilton. Fantastic. Vicky and Paul, yeah, paying off debt is such a fantastic thing to do because it can be very stressful. And once you're gone, it's just like a huge weight off your back. Richard, paying for the wedding. Very important. Glad with that. Yeah, Paul, that's great. Just something like being able to go to the shops or for a meal out without worrying about the cost. That's fantastic, guys. I thank you very much for sharing those with us. So my question to you all then is, are you taking the actions every day that will inevitably lead to that result? Now, I'm not going to ask you to say yes or no, but you need to think that to yourself. This business won't run itself. Your success or your failure is down to the actions that you take. Okay guys, so that's pretty much finished for this evening. That was number 7, Goals and Attitude. Next week I'm going to be wrapping up the section on personal development. And for this evening I'm just going to stop the recording